Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vrajadana Randana Yashodanandana Vrajadana Randana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Gaur Premanandi. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Pri Pradikacharya Stotra Satya Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Shirabai Charanarvina Bhakti Vedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Skandibiti Founder Acharya Divine Grace Sri Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Samavata Bhakti Vrinda Ki Harinam Sankirtan Ki Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada Ki. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Taksurandritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Syam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Dalita Sri Visakanditam Scha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kansana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tirubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyaiva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Shaiva Narotamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, let us first offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesha badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Tamasloke Bhaktir Bhaviti Naistiki. By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart that becomes destroyed practically to nil, and loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, it becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Nishreyas Ayalokasya Dhanyam Swasyayanam Mahat. This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God, the Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Sarabhyai Namaha. 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 Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yatkripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Yat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Hare Krishna. You bring the Achmana. Achmana should always be here. Welcome everyone to our morning Bhagavatam class. We are reading from Canto number 1, chapter 19, the appearance of Shukadeva Goswami. Let's see here. Text number 24, huh? Yes, text 24. Thank you. Tatas cha va prichyam imam vipricche visrabhya vipra iti krityatayam sarvatmana mriyamanais cha krityam shuddham cha tatra amrishata abhiyuktah tatasya prichyam imam vipricche visrabhya vipra iti krityatayam sarvatmana mriyamanaischa krityam shuddham cha Chatatram Rishita Viyukta
Shuddham cha tatram rishita viyukta.
Tatasya Prishcham Imam Vipritsche
Tatasya vah priksham imam viprikshe.
Visrabhya Vipra Iti Krityatayam
Vishrabhya vipra iti krityatayam.
Sarvatmana Mriyamanaisya Krityam
Sarvatmanam riyamanesha krityam.
Shuddham cha tatram Rishita Viyukta
Shuddham cha tatram rishita viyukta.
Tatasya Prishchamimam Vipritsche
Tatasya vah prikshamimam viprikshe.
Visrabhya Vipra Iti Krityatayam
Vishrabhya vipra iti krityatayam.
Sarvatmana Mriyamanaisya Krityam
Svatmanam riyamanesha krityam.
Shuddham cha tatram Rishata Viyukta
Shuddham cha tatram rishita viyukta.
Tatasya va Prishchamimam Vipritsche Visrabhya Vipra Iti Krityatayam Sarvatmana Mriyamanasya Krityam Shuddham Satatra Satviyuktaha
Tatasya vah prikshamimam viprikshe.
Tatasya va Prishchamimam Vipritsche
Vishrabhya vipra iti krityatayam.
Visrabhya Vipra Iti Krityatayam
Sarvatmanam riyamanesha krityam.
Sarvatmana Mriyamanaisya Krityam
Shuddham cha tatram rishita bhiyukta.
Shuddham Satatra Mrisitabhyukta Tatasya va Prishchamimam Vipritsche Visrabhya Vipra Iti Krityatayam Sarvatmana Mriyamanasya Krityam Shuddham Satatram Rishatabhiyukta Tatasya va Prishchamimam Vipritsche Visrabhya Vipra Iti Krityatayam Sarvatmana Mriyamanaisya Krityam Shuddham Satatram Rishatabhiyukta Ladies. Tatasya va Prishchamimam Vipritsche Visrabhya Vipra Iti Krityatayam Sarvatmana Mriyamanaisya Krityam Shuddham Satatram Rishitabhiyukta Tataha as such Sha and Baha unto you Prichyam that which is to be asked
That which is to be asked.
Imam this Vipritsche
Viprikshe.
beg to ask you Visrabhya
Vishrabhya.
trustworthy Vipraha Brahmanas Iti thus Krit, Kritatayam
Krityatayam.
Out of all different duties
Out of all different duties.
Sarva Atmana,
Sarvatmana,
by everyone,
by everyone,
Mriyamanai,
Niryamanai,
especially those who are just about to die.
especially those who are just about to die.
Cha, and Krityam, dutiful,
Beautiful,
Shuddham,
Sridham,
perfectly correct.
perfectly correct,
Cha, and Tatra,
Tatra,
therein,
therein,
Amrishata,
Amrishata,
by complete deliberation,
complete deliberation,
Abhiyuktaha,
Abhiyukta,
just befitting.
just befitting.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. This is King Parikshit continuing to address the Brahmanas assembled on the bank of the Ganges. O trustworthy Brahmanas, I now ask you about my immediate duty. Please, after proper deliberation, tell me of the unalloyed duty of everyone in all circumstances, and specifically of those who are just about to die. Kindly repeat after me. O trustworthy Brahmanas,
O trustworthy Brahmanas,
I now ask you
I now ask you
about my immediate duty.
about my immediate duty.
Please,
Please,
after proper deliberation,
after proper deliberation,
tell me of the unalloyed duty
tell me of the unalloyed duty
of everyone in all circumstances,
of everyone in all circumstances,
and specifically of those
and specifically of those
who are just about to die.
who are just about to die.
That means all of us, actually. Purport. In this verse, the king has placed two questions before the learned sages. The first question what is the duty of everyone in all circumstances? And the second question is what is the specific duty of one who is to die very shortly? Out of the two, the question relating to the dying man is most important because everyone is a dying man, either very shortly or after 100 years. The duration of life is immaterial, but the duty of a dying man is very important. Thank you. Maharaj Parikshit placed these two questions before Shukadeva Goswami, also on his arrival, and practically the whole of the Srimad Bhagavatam, beginning from the second canto up to the last, the 12th canto, deals with these two questions. The conclusion arrived at thereof is that devotional service to the Lord Sri Krishna, as it is confirmed by the Lord Himself in the last phases of the Bhagavad Gita, is the last word in relation to everyone's permanent duty in life. Maharaj Parikshit was already aware of this fact, but he wanted the great sages assembled there to unanimously give their verdict on his conviction so that he might be able to go on with his confirmed duty without controversy. He has especially mentioned the word shuddha, or perfectly correct, for transcendental realization or self realization. Many processes are recommended by various classes of philosophers. Some of them are first class methods, and some of them are second or third class methods. The first class method demands that one give up all other methods and surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord, and thus be saved from all sins and their reactions. You're going to have patience. Vedic system is that the eldest, like when Rishabhadev, Rishabhadev gave his instructions, transferred the responsibility of the kingdom to his eldest son, Bharat Maharaj. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was known because generally the eldest son will be generally more prepared. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, of course, was extremely well versed in the principles of dharma. So that famous exchange between Dharmaraj, who had met Yudhishthira Maharaj, and he asked him, "What is the most wonderful? You have lived for so many years. You have seen so many things. Of all of the, of all of your experiences in life, of all of what you've seen so far, what is the most wonderful thing?" And of course, he answered the famous, gave the famous reply that I've traveled very extensively, and I've noticed that every single day, so many people are dying. One's father, one's mother, a relative, a friend, and this happens more and more as we get older. Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, remembering now I'm in old age, and this one is gone, this one is gone. My family members have forgotten me, but I'm sitting here very, very peacefully and doing my bhajan in Vrindavan. The older we become, we start counting, on more than two hands, how many people have already left. So the answer that he gave was that even though every single day so many people we see, either we hear about or we see dying, we never really think that one day is going to happen to us. We just go on living. But so this point is, this is the very question, that Yudhishthira Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj rather, is presenting to the trustworthy brahmanas. I don't know whether we're trustworthy. Brahmanas by nature are meant to be trustworthy, but just to highlight, because in Kali Yuga we have many untrustworthy brahmanas. Of course, at that time, still, it's like the beginning of Kali Yuga. But as Prabhupada explains actually in the purport, Yudhishthira Maharaj already knew. Sometimes we know something, but we want to get it like reconfirmed, because this is like the most important question in life. How the two questions, as explained by Srila Prabhupada, in the purport, in general, how to best prepare ourselves for that inevitable moment, which can come actually at any time, can come even before 7 days. And especially for those who are about to leave their body. This is also in the Bhagavad Gita. We were referring to that just a few days ago. Dukkha dosanu darshanam janmamritu jaravyadi. Not that devotees are, because sometimes devotees are being accused. Why you're so pessimistic? Why you speak about birth, rebirth, old age, there's birth and death, and in between, disease and old age. And actually, it's one of our favorite subject matters as devotees. We're not, most people, they don't like to speak about death, especially. And people try in so many ways to avoid old age. In the Western countries, especially, they do all kinds of crazy things to try and remain young, isn't it? Use all kinds of chemicals or whatever, I don't know. All kinds of... because by nature, Prabhupada explains how this is the proof, because by nature we are eternal, so nobody wants to die because we're not meant to die, because the spirit soul actually does not die. That's the very first. Dehi nosmin yata dehi komanam jovanam jara tata daham terat praptir dhira satra namuyati. Dhira, someone who is a devotee, he develops that quality of dhira, sober-minded. Even faced in the worst of all calamities, a devotee remains sober-minded. And we need to practice. And of course, we are being tested at different times. How sober-minded are we? And most of the time we fail at this. Because not at all easy. We try to preach to others. Just relax. Just don't take it so seriously. Then it won't happen to us. What happened? People. Something happened just recently. One devotee was telling me, I became blank. I was totally blank. Didn't know what to do. Something very heavy happened in his family. I've been chanting for so many years. I've been chanting. I've been practicing, but I didn't know what to do. So, the whole Vedic culture is teaching us that actually, if we don't practice If we don't have this kind of upbringing from Komaram, Jomanam, as Prahlad Maharaj instructs, from very Komaram means from the birth till age 5, the first 5 years. The first 5 years of one's life are determined in so many ways what our future life will be. They're called the early days of formation, early days of education, early days of training. Both those very early days and then the subsequent years also, up to the age of, I think psychologists have established, whatever upbringing, whatever training, whatever you've been exposed to for the first like 10 years or 12 years, I mean, your whole life is already
Especially up to 7 years.
7, huh?
Up to 7 is like
Up to
the most
7.
important.
7. L'âge de raison, right? In French, they say the age 7 that's when you start to reason. L'âge de raison, hein? C'est 7 ans, hein? En général, yeah. I mean, generally, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's very interesting how a child develops. And so, there are different age groups and there's so it's very nice to see how it's like when we're babies. I mean, we're just we don't.
Observing.
Right?
You're observing.
Well, babies are compared to animals.
Yeah, they learn by observation.
Right, Basu, yes.
I was just discussing with a devotee that when cows and bulls they grow, they observe what is happening and they do.
Yes, yeah, observation, correct. And that's why children, they love animals. On the same level in terms of consciousness. Anamai consciousness. Putting everything in the mouth, even something that's very dangerous. So, human life, human form of life, is is to prepare us actually for that moment. And even we see those who go through many years of training, because the attachment, the bodily identification is so deeply rooted. So the whole Vedic culture, all of the ashrams actually are meant to gradually pull us out of this deep entanglement. Just like Maharaj yesterday, we were discussing.
Yeah. It was very deep rooted.
It's like the cassava, like tapioca, the root. It's like pulling out teeth. Very difficult, very deeply rooted. So that this is the, it is subtle. It is subtle. That is the, that's all described in the Bhagavad Gita, the false ego. The false ego. That's why leaving the gross body is very easy. Leaving the subtle body, that's where the problem is, actually. Leaving our thoughts, our desires, and breaking away from our various subtle attachments, subtle identification. So, obviously, Parikshit Maharaj is asking that most relevant of questions, and Prabhupada is going a little bit ahead here in the purport by telling that he's going to ask the same question when Shukadeva Goswami will make his appearance, which is very soon, before we end the chapter. He will make his appearance. And then Prabhupada explains how this first canto is like a preparation for dealing the rest of the Bhagavatam are exchanges, questions and answers, generally between two great personalities like Maitreya, and Vidura, or later on in the seventh canto, Narada Muni and Yudhisthira Maharaj. So many exchanges. Krishna himself discussing with Uddhava, yeah, correct. And in all of these different exchanges, it the same message. The same message is until and unless we come to know our real position or identity. That's the first, what they call aphorism. I learned that word actually the first time I visited Hare Krishna temple. The word aphorism. The first aphorism of the Vedanta Sutra, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Atato Brahma. Now that we have finally attained this human form of life, or again, we have, it's not the first time we are attaining this human form of life. Now it is the time to be inquisitive as to what is the purpose of life and how to put an end to the unwanted entanglement and sufferings that we're all forced to experience. And Prabhupada often makes reference, of course, to the whole conversation between Sanatana Goswami and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. People call me a very learned person. They give me all respect. And of course, he was having such high responsibility in the government. But although people have all of this praise and respect for me, I don't know the basics of who I am and what is the purpose of life. These are called perennial questions. You know, man throughout history has and continues actually to ask himself these questions. Most people actually in the world, they have these questions that very often they're very often not able to bring out or to find somebody who can, yeah.
In one interview, somebody asked, "Tell me about who are you," without telling your designation, caste, or nationality or name.
Yes, right. Prabhupada often would say that you ask this question to any professor, any university, and he'll give the wrong answer. And actually, these questions, these very questions, can only be discussed as we have experience. You know, we try to talk with, let's say, those who are not devotees yet, and generally, most people, they just cannot. It's amazing, you know.
Now they are coming up. Like in this interview, this person, this lady asked that, "Tell me who are you," without
Right.
your designations.
Yeah.
So now people are like,
There is.
I have one experience when I could discuss these things with a non-devotee, but it was amazing. She was such an illusion that he wanted to discuss these things with me, but he never wanted to become a devotee.
Okay.
It was the only one
Mayavadi
whom
probably.
I have discussion about. All others,
Ex
of
Mayavadi.
your statement that non-devotees very short, they understand my intention and they stop.
Right.
I understand you want to convert them.
Yeah. Don't want to convince me immediately. Don't convince me.
Don't try to convince.
I had similar actually. Most people, one expression which I think most people know. I had that personal. You know, when we become new devotees, we're very enthusiastic, and somehow, you know, by some great mercy, we understand some basics, and we're very enthusiastic when we're new devotees, and we think, let me just explain this, you know, to my brother or to my sister or whatever, and they don't get it.
They don't want it.
Yeah, right. I mean, I remember, I won't mention, but I remember speaking to one of my relatives, and and the response at that time was that, you know, I don't want to rock the boat. Don't want to rock the boat. I mean,
Right.
I have a nice situation, you know.
Don't disturb.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Um, yes. So it's very rare, huh? That, so, so it's, to actually become a devotee is very rare. Devotees are rare species.
Interesting in India, if you start, people will be very interested and they will talk about it. They will not become devotees. But
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Like
they'll say,
Dhritarashtra.
what you are saying is truth. Yes. I agree with you.
Yes, yes. And they'll ask you, do you have any prasadam?
It's quite interesting how different.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the what is Sukriti that is there in,
Yeah.
you know, in
That's the beauty that
Bharatvarsha.
sometimes easily you can make devotees. Sometimes it's very, very difficult because they have too much of knowledge, then you
Right. Yes.
can't do anything.
Yes. Um, so this is the unfolding scene. Um, but
Maharaj,
it's,
that's also, here is the key, that because this process demand to give up all other processes.
demand.
Yeah.
Demand.
So,
That's okay.
so that's the most difficult for devotees also.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, we really have to be careful not to become a little proud here. We're all devotees. Prabhupada says it's not at all easy to become a devotee or to become a Vaishnava. We have at least some understanding that we want to become devotees. We must. I mean, if we want to really put an end, you know, a solution to the real problems of life, we have to come to that level. But we know that it's not at all such an easy um, thing to accomplish. But but this is the topic that will especially be uh, elaborated upon by Shukadeva Goswami once he makes his appearance. Yes.
Maharaj, how you want to teach Varnashram Dharma if
To
also one devotee have to give up Varnashram Dharma in due course of time and become pure devotee like Sarva Dharma, Varnashram Dharma also give up or not?
Yes, actually, the whole process of and system of Varnashram Dharma is meant to be given up. But before giving it up,
Giving it.
we can, yeah, right.
Somebody has to have.
We can't give up something we don't have. So we have to adopt it. We have to understand the need and the importance for adopting it, and that is famous. You know, 9. What is it? 9:19:26. 19:26. It was like so striking.
Varnashram Dharma.
Yeah. Prabhupada in the purport, this is the very first instruction given by Yudhishthira Maharaj. I've mentioned this a few times. When finally, I mean, given by grandfather Bhishmadev, when finally Bhishmadev began to speak on his bed of arrows, as was arranged by Krishna, the very first instruction at Maharaj Yudhishthira's inquiry, Bhishmadev first defined all the classifications of castes and orders of life. Means he first started to speak not about Radha and Krishna, or about Vaikuntha, or Goloka, which is not even, he started to speak about Varnashram. And then what does Prabhupada say in the very first line of that purport? The conception of the four castes and four orders of life as planned by the Lord himself, Bhagavad Gita 4.13, is to accelerate transcendental qualities of the individual person so that he may gradually realize his spiritual identity and thus act accordingly to get free from material bondage or conditional life. So actually, Varnashrama is a means of liberation, means to become more and more freed, because ashram is becoming detached. Yeah. So once a person is, it's just like one devotee just wrote to me, Maharaj, I just came to know that actually in such a yuga there's no varnashram. How is that possible? The varnashram is supposed to be eternal. Because actually Bhagavatam explains that in such a yuga there is no varnashram. The point is that actually everyone's a brahmana. Everyone is self-realized. So there is only that aspect of varnashram present. It's like, what do Kshatriyas do when everyone is following? What do doctors do when everyone's healthy?
There is no doctor in every. Doctors are just peacefully
Yeah.
in their place.
So, so then some people also ask the question, is there varnashram in the spiritual world? Well, the cows are there, right?
But everybody is just serving Lord. So.
Well, yeah. Ultimately, varnashram means to serve.
But the culture is there.
Yes.
It's not the function, but the culture
Yes.
is there. Yes. Or have different function to make the pastimes more appreciable.
Everyone is spontaneously engaged in serving at different levels and
Quite interesting question. Most of the time as devotees, we jump like, okay, we are on the transcendental platform, but we are not. That's first thing what you asked before that question, that it's very difficult for devotees because we don't do self-assessment. We think we became devotees.
Yes.
But we tend to forget we are practitioners. We are only sadhaka on little bit different platform. Maybe somebody is on the step 3, somebody on a step 5, little bit here, there. But we remain sadhaka. And I think that this self-assessment is something which when we can understand, like Maharaj was saying, when there is a situation.
Yeah, the true colors come out.
I heard many times the greatness of a devotee can be assessed how he reacts on a provoking situation.
Yes.
Now we can think we are very settled, and the moment some provoking situation came, our true nature just kind of spills out.
Yeah. In the Bhagavatam, one purport, Prabhupada mentions how human form of life is to bring one from animal consciousness to human consciousness, and then from human consciousness to spiritual consciousness. And to be on human consciousness level is not so easy, because we also have the same animalistic propensities as animals. We are in philosophy, man is an animal, but meant to be, supposed to be a rational animal. En philosophie, l'homme est un animal raisonnable. But in Kali Yuga, the rational aspect is missing. So we are animal. We are animal we're not properly utilizing our rationality, our ability, our propensity to be rational, to be thoughtful, to be inquisitive. Human form of life is meant to be inquisitive. Tato Brahma Jigyasa, Jigyasa. And that is same thing. Tad vidi pranipatena pri prashnena. Prashna. You should be asking questions to get more understanding.
Spoke about doctors, Maharaj. In next purport, it's Prabhupada is writing, as doctors differ,
Next
so
purport.
also sages.
Hey, nobody will come to class tomorrow.
I know there at least 3 doctors are there.
Yeah.
Quite interesting.
We'll save that for tomorrow. Yes.
So this material world is created in such a way that we get entangled more and more. So,
Yes.
and, this material world is in the for the service of the Lord.
The material world is for the service of the Lord.
Lord.
Yes.
So which desire arises first? Does the Lord want to enjoy the material world, or Jiva wants to get separated from the Lord?
Does the Lord want to enjoy the material world?
Yes, means he desired that he want to enjoy different things.
No, the Lord doesn't enjoy the material world. The Lord descends in the material world, creates the material world for us. Just like in a country, the government has no interest to create a prison. Doesn't like to create prison because you have to spend so much money, etc. But because even before people come and live, people in government know that some people are not going to follow the law. So we need a place for them. So the material world is like that. Krishna knows that because we have this minute independence, some living entities will not follow, will misuse that minute independence. So there's a place for them. Here we are.
Probably also Prabhu, if I'm rightly understanding, also referring towards when Lord desires to suppose fight, it's not happening in the spiritual world, like in the case of Jai Vijay.
Yes.
Then kind of there is a place where those type of rasa can be exchanged.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. That aspect is there in terms of the Lord.
Right,
properly uses the material world also for.
I mean, Lord also has got desire. Also, like
yeah. Yes.
With having 1-to-1 both.
But the primary purpose of the material world is like the primary purpose of having a prison in as part of one's whatever. In every country there are such places for those who are disobedient, those who are Prabhupada uses different words. Generally, he uses the word criminals. We're all
He uses it. And actually, it is. I mean, I think Bhaktivinoda Thakur, somebody uses that word, that the first crime we did it, that we turned from the.
Yeah. I mean,
somewhere I read that. This is our crime. Like, we did the crime. We turned from Krishna away.
It's not a crime.
It is.
It's a misuse of free will, not a crime.
It is a crime.
We can use this word, but actually it's natural for the Tatastha Shakti Jiva to decide in this way. It's not obligatory, but it's natural. It's nature. Because in the nature of the Tatastha Shakti, there is no inherited attraction to the Supreme Person.
But Jiver Swarup, Krishna Das, Nitya Krishna Das. So that's our Swarup. and we turned. So
That's we can discuss this.
We
Which kind of jiva have this swarup?
that's a point I want to discuss later on with
Yeah.
you.
Anyway,
But we should know that anyone who breaks the law is a criminal. True or not true? If we break the law, we are criminal. No?
volunteer or not? Yeah.
There are some civil case and criminal case.
Huh?
Civil case and criminal case.
that's Ishwar
Two
Prabhu.
types of case.
We're missing our lawyer
Yeah,
now.
but the question is that why the Lord creates such a living entity
Criminal.
whose first decision to turn out, and that's criminal. That's the question. If the jiva knows that that would be criminal, he choose the material energy. That why he's created like in this way. It's
I mean,
questioning
it's a
the
deep-
nature of the Lord who created this jiva.
Where did we discuss about the reference? You're mentioning about two types of living entities.
Yeah, I sent you on WhatsApp.
You did?
Yeah, Paramatma Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami. There is a clear reference
Uh,
to type of living entity.
I'm gonna have to. I think I read it quickly, but
I can read it for you.
right. Yeah. Okay. But I'm not convinced yet about that. Of course, I mean, what Srila Jiva Goswami what our acharyas explained. But Prabhupada speaks of, like Krishna also in Bhagavad Gita, Mamai Vangsho Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. And in the Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur speaks about, he explains about two types of living entities. And I think that's where maybe this is coming from a little bit, but I think it needs to be properly understood.
Or Nityabadha.
The jiva
Yeah.
there are four tattvas that describe the jiva. There are three tattvas that describe Krishna. This is in the Dasamula tattva. Dasamula tattva.
Spoke about it.
We spoke about that, yeah. So the jivas, the first is that all the jivas, they are amsha.
Right.
They are eternally amsha. They'll never become anything else.
Yes.
They're eternally part and parcel. That's the first one. The last one is that Veda Abeda. Same in quality, like
Yes.
the sun ray or the drop of water, same in quality, but difference in quantity. And in between, there is what is called Nitya Baddha and Nitya Mukta. So Nitya Baddha means those living entities who are conditioned, who come in the material world. Baddha, they are conditioned by the gunas, modes of material nature. And Nitya Mukta are those who never come in contact with the modes of material nature. They are in the spiritual world, eternally liberated, isn't it? So the question that was brought up a few days back and that you're referring to again is that from what you're mentioning, that Srila Jiva Goswami, which I have not read in that way, but is that that there are two types. There are eternally two types of living entities.
Like two type of Nityabadha means, or eternally two type of Jiva. Two
Eternal.
type of Jiva was already discussed.
No,
Nityabadha and Nitya.
Can I read it very short?
you can read it.
I don't read the Sanskrit.
No, don't read the
Jiva reads
Sanskrit. That's right.
So this is from Paramatma Sandarbha 47. There are two divisions amongst the jivas. The first one is inclined to Bhagavan since beginningless time, and the second one is disinclined since time immemorial. These two are disposed in their respective manners due to presence and absence of jnana of Bhagavan respectively. That is Jiva Goswami. So So they have different nature, but also have same nature, as you told, because they're all amshas. And the process, how to they become eternal servant of the Lord, the same for both, like getting association. So there is no difference for what to practice. So this is a fact, but still, whatever how we use that is not changing any of the process. You have to associate with pure devotees, and that's it.
Yeah, like in most uh, controversial maybe topics, most any subject matter that we discuss, generally not immediately is it able, are we able to properly or fully understand unless we read other references, I would say, that also speak on the same subject matter, isn't it? Just like, so many people will tell those who are promoting Varnashram, Prabhupada said Varnashram is not possible in Kali
Yeah,
Yuga.
that's also Prabhupada.
Yeah, right. And we can't deny Prabhupada did. Prabhupada, but Prabhupada, if we look at the overall
Broader.
instructions, then we have to know when Prabhupada said such a thing and what was the context, isn't it? So the overall, let's say, situation in regards to Varnashram, if we look at all the different contexts and all the different times that he spoke, is that he wanted that to happen. Otherwise, he would not have mentioned that like 2 weeks before leaving his body, etc. Although he did say at certain times that it was not possible, and etc. So, in a similar way, I would say that this statement about two jivas, two natures of jivas, one being eternally not inclined and one being eternally inclined, I think needs to be further looked into in terms of what other statements are there by both Srila Jiva Goswami and other acharyas.
I think this discussion was already clarified in Jaiva Dharma, chapter 6 and 8. These, yes, all
Oh,
this,
yeah,
yes,
the point you're
very
making.
clarified. Yes, all this topic. Yes, based on the statement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jivere Swarupe Hoy, Krishna Nichaya Dasa. This is the tatwa. Krishna Tatasa Shakti, Veda Bet, Prakash. All that in this statement and was discussed in Jaiva Dharma. There is chapter 7 or 8.
8, 9.
Yeah, 9. Clarified, very well clarified.
Yeah.
So we all have to read chapter 9 of that. And all of our doubts will be clarified.
Quite interesting. Sometimes, like we are reading Yamuna or Ganga,
Yeah,
and then when Ganga is 100 times purified, it's Yamuna.
right.
So it's very interesting. And in Rex, you can see sometimes Prabhupada in the beginning said sitting next to Yamuna, but then he's also saying that it's Ganga now.
Correct.
So
Yes.
And another, the Dasamula Tattva is so important to study. So I read yesterday that how Bhakti Thakur reached that state that he put this Dasamula Tattva in written form. 10 years before he started to explain it in different books like in Jaiva Dharma and in other place. And then after 10 years consideration, he concluded all these tattvas and put his Dasamula Tattva formula.
Are you saying that he wrote Dasamulu Tattva before or after Jaiva Dharma?
He wrote it after.
After.
But before in Jaiva Dharma, there are the same principles explained, but in other topics around. So, but he was
Yeah.
considering these principles much earlier. Just he
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
condense
Right,
it into this form.
Yeah. It's like important to know how the Bhagavatam was written after all the Vedic literatures were written.
Yeah.
And that's all, in other words, it's the culmination and the ripened fruit of
It's
the
the
Vedic
essence.
Yeah, the essence and all that. Yes. Okay.
thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj.
Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Jai Sri Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna.
Holiness Bhakti Maharaj ki.
Jai.